I think my launch might be just a little bit fast, so.
We're live.
Oh, okay. So what, we get started?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, Miss Tanya, we'll let you go first.
Hey, I really don't have anything other than to say, I can't believe it's the fourth 9 weeks. We are getting ready for that state testing that is happening this year. It is paper pencil, of course. All of those testing materials, thank those folks that counted all of those books out today. I am missing some of those supplies, but we've emailed Miss Keaton so she can get those ordered before that testing takes place. Hopefully the Pearson Access folks will get that to us. Our window is April the 21st through May the 14th on testing. School schedules will be a little bit different, so please, whenever you're looking at testing schedules, make sure you're looking at your home school's testing schedule. Don't look at the high school, don't look at Huntsville Middle. We'll all have some different testing schedules done, but we do start on April the 21st with that first part of ELA, which is the writing. Again, kind of hard to wrap your mind around that, but that is happening, so we'll get that information out to parents here in the next couple of days. Soccer season is winding up tonight. We're making up one game at home tonight, our girls' game. I cannot thank Miss Ryan Hewitt enough and Miss Donna Goodman. The tournament has went extremely well. Had great, very few makeup games, which is unusual for soccer, but it went really well for us. And I think our girls finished in second, if I'm not, let me make sure I don't want to tell this incorrectly. Our girls finished second and our boys are in third. But we do have a makeup game tonight, so I don't know if that's going to change anything. I don't think so. But anyway, we're going into that tournament this weekend. And again, Huntsville going to do a great job of hosting that. And I don't have anything for the agenda. We are setting our 8th grade graduation. That is going to be on May the 18th at 9 a.m. for my 8th grade promotional ceremonies. It's going to be May the 18th at 9 a.m. Get you some more information on that too, folks. Get that out to parents, putting that on our social media today. So, again, kind of odd that we're wrapping this up, but everybody has worked so very hard. Very thankful for a very blessed spring break and a great Easter. So, unless y'all have something for me, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Laura Beth, you want to go next?
Well, he sent me out here and I don't really have anything. Just to echo what she said, we're really trying to prepare for testing, get our materials ready and see what's going on there. We are missing a couple things, but we're in better shape than some people, so we're excited about that. We are just thankful to be back from spring break and just try to get these kids back into some type of normal routine. And we play virtual tonight, our girls do. And that's all he gave me, unless you have something for me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I guess, Ms. Hamilton, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me? Okay. Just echoing what they've said, we're getting ready for testing, getting all those things unpacked and making sure everything's where it needs to be. That's all I have. I don't have anything for the agenda. We're just making it.
Okay, thank you. Is that Ms. Donna Goodman?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm just going to be repeating what the other principals have already said because we all kind of have the same schedules. We're coming down to the end of soccer. We do play Robins here tonight, beginning at 5:30. So if you don't have any place to go, just drop by. We do have our parent recognition tonight also for our 8th graders. That will be beginning here in just a few minutes at 5 o'clock. I'm like Miss Tanya and Miss Hamilton, as they've already said, all of the TCAP materials have started coming in. Of course, that will take some time to do all that prep work and get it ready to go out to the students on April 21st. So again, I want to repeat that our testing begins on April 21st. 21st is also our midpoint to go home. So this year is coming to an end very, very quickly. We're starting all of the end of the year activities, beta club inductions, getting ready for graduations and dances and all those type things. I do have one announcement, and Mr. Hall, I will apologize to you in front of everybody. I should have got this to you before now, but I actually just got a hold of it in the last day or so and absolutely have not had time to get with you. So you may already have this. I don't know, but I did want to go ahead and announce that Hannah Birchfield has been selected by the regional committee to move forward to the Tennessee Teacher of the Year region level semifinalist. So we are extremely proud of her. And I'll get some more information if you don't have that, Mr. Hall. I'll get that to you if you don't have it. That we're just tickled to death. She doesn't want any accolades or anything like that, but she deserves them. She's a very hard worker, just like all of our teachers are, and we're extremely proud of her. And that is all that I have, unless you have something for me.
Okay, thank you.
Way to go, Miss Hannah.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Okay, yeah. How about Miss Amy Jeffers with Robbins?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm off phone. We're just making it at Robbins. We're doing really well. Seriously, we're getting ready for TCAP, and really nothing much is going on other than that. Soccer season wraps up this week, hopefully, and I honestly can't think of anything else unless you all had anything for me.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Rector with Scott High.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Just a couple of announcements. Our EOCs are beginning on April the 12th. We will be testing for that entire testing window, since we have several courses that are testing EOCs and a lot more courses, that test in the spring rather than the fall. It's a pretty heavy testing schedule. So we are headed into that next week and getting everything. Our booklets came in today, so they started working on those. But make no mistake, just because it's, as I'm sure everybody else will tell you, just because it's a quote paper test doesn't mean that there's not a lot of stuff that has to happen online, and especially with some real specific deadlines. So we're working our way through those things, headed into busy testing season. We were able to get our ACT completed back before spring break, and we did get those scores in today. I know those started releasing to students actually over the spring break, but we received that score report today. So expect to have some of those numbers calculated and out to everybody as soon as I can get to them. But we did get those back pre-ACT. That's the 10th grade test. We do not have those scores back yet. So we are still waiting on scores from the pre-ACT for those 10th graders, and we'll get those out to students just as soon as we have those. Prom is set for Saturday, April the 24th. At the barn at Magnolia Acres, which is here in Huntsville and pretty close by the school. So we're excited about that and planning for that. Have a meeting scheduled with juniors tomorrow to go over all of the details about prom and some specifics there. Of course, we will have to have some COVID policies and procedures in place, which will make it just a little bit different, that have to do with masking and reducing gathering of large groups and things like that. Food service rather than self-serve, things like that. So we're working our way through those things using the updated CDC guidance. There has been some updates to the CDC guidance, so we are following those new updates for those prom procedures, as well as for graduation, which is set for May the 8th. At Scott High. Now, we have not announced a time yet, and I'll explain to you why we haven't. We are right on the borderline of students of whether we can fit people in for one ceremony or two ceremonies and still follow that guidance. So we're right on the borderline of that, and we are waiting to hear back from, we had some students, some early graduates that weren't sure whether they were going to participate in ceremonies or not, and it really is a numbers game at this point. So we're trying to make sure that we have every single student who wants to participate in graduation counted and planned for. I'll be honest, the way it looks right now is we probably are going to have 2 ceremonies. That's just my gut feeling. Again, we haven't made a final decision on that yet. We expect to do that within this week. But my gut tells me that we're probably going to have 2 ceremonies again. And so, again, we'll have to look at appropriately spacing that time. That will give people the appropriate space to distance, and we will have to limit attendance again, giving students a certain number of tickets. I have a meeting with seniors to discuss that, those things scheduled on Thursday. Actually, it may end up being moved Thursday or Friday of this week to go over those things. So I know we're getting a lot of questions about those things. I promise you we are working and planning for those, but it does get pretty complex. And that's all that I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Okay,
Set
thank
a
you.
date for the awards banquet.
Awards banquet, Ms. Rector, you want to explain the awards banquet there?
Sure. Sorry about that. I have to turn my volume down to speak so I don't get feedback. So I could hear awards banquet. We are going to combo awards banquet with graduation this year like we did last year. And I'll tell you why we are going to do that instead of a separate event. In our planning and discussions with our health department officials and looking at the quarantine procedures that are still in place, we would be gathering that same group together less than 10 days. In fact, it would be less than 10 days prior to graduation, which means if we had an instance of COVID at that event, we would not be able to have graduation and gather that same group of people together. So rather than risk that and not being able to have graduation event, we chose to go ahead and combo that banquet and those announcements with graduation again this year. We really hope once we get past the quarantine procedures that we can get back to a regular banquet. That's something that is probably the thing that I enjoy the most every year. And so while I'm disappointed, I understand it, and we want to make sure that we're able to have that graduation ceremony for those students.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Stanley with Winfield.
Yes, ma'am. As the other principals have stated, we're getting ready for TCAP testing. For us, we will have the first part, which is the writing part of the ELA on April the 21st. We will continue the testing through the 29th. And I will be sending out a letter, which I sent you a copy of, to the parents to encourage them to make sure that their children are there and that they are on time, and with some suggestions as far as, you know, how they can help their kids and us to prepare for that test. We are asking that they don't make appointments like doctors, dental appointment, that type of thing, during that April 21st through the 29th period, because it does make it a whole lot easier on the students and the faculty when those students are present when the tests are being given, rather than being totally absent or having to complete makeups. A big thanks to Miss Linda Keaton for coming up after school yesterday to conduct the mandatory TCAP security training for our personnel. She does that every year for us and does a great job. So we're very appreciative of her doing that. Also, just want to mention a thank you to Mr. Shoemaker and to Carrie Hamby and all the Scott County Health Department. I think we probably had all said and told about 50% of our personnel who did take the COVID vaccinations. I think, like Miss Esther said one night, that second day was a little rough for some of us. But I was appreciative of the virtual days that we had after that to kind of get us all back on the right track again. And everybody seems to be doing extremely well after that. So appreciate that time. A couple of dates that you might want to go ahead and mark on your calendars. If you have that there, I will also be sending that to you in written form by email, so that if you don't get it down tonight, you will have it. We are having our graduation for the 8th grade on Friday, May the 14th at 10 a.m. Friday, May 14th at 10 a.m. I did meet with our middle school teachers yesterday. We are possibly looking at doing that a little bit differently than we've done in the past, and we'll give you the details of that in an email. We have sports physicals on Friday, May the 7th at 8:15. Our student athletes will go to the Boys and Girls Club by bus to get a free physical. Again, we thank Mr. Shoemaker for setting that up for us. And we didn't get to do that last year. So I am very grateful, especially for our kids, because this is a free physical for them. So, it saves the parents having to make them an appointment and that type of thing. So we encourage all the parents to fill out their sports physical packets, send those back in, and allow their children to go get that free physical. Our 7th, 8th grade prom or dance will be Friday, May the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're putting that on the calendar for our students. I don't think I have anything else unless you all have questions for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Linda Key.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I don't have anything for the agenda. Just a couple of things that we've been doing the last few weeks, especially after spring break. I did get the pre-K grant submitted a few weeks ago, and I would like to announce to anybody listening that we do have pre-K openings in all of our schools. Actually, we have a 3-year-old class at Birchfield, and students need to be 3 by August the 15th, and 4-year-old classes at the rest of our schools also, as well as Birchfield, if students are 4 by August the 15th. So we have openings there. We have a really good program, and we're hoping to, between now and school starting, get a few more students. I guess before spring break and even after, as Miss Stanley said, and thank you, you're welcome, Miss Stanley. I appreciate being able to come up and do the training for you all. We have done several test trainings, just making sure. And I know all of our principals have gone online and done the trainings, and our test administrators, our teachers have done trainings. So we have really been trained well, but still there are so many details that we have to look after that lots of times you still have to go back to your books, your test booklets and your TAMs and check to see if you are doing everything right. But Miss Melissa said, the high school will begin EOCs April the 12th. That's next Monday. And we did get those tests. Mr. Eric Henry and Mr. Hamby picked those up at the central office yesterday. And so they have gotten those. And then our middle elementary schools really need to say thanks to our instructional coaches who came down and did a lot of the work as far as counting all of those booklets, making sure that we had what the state said that they sent us, even though we are short a few, and I'm going to have to order a few more. We found everything to be there. We were just shorted some in some of our schools. And those tests, for anyone's listening, will begin April the 21st. And that will start with the writing part 1. And the state did give us an option this year to allow schools to set their own schedules within the test window. And so our schools do have their own schedule, and hopefully we will be putting that out to parents of those particular schools. So I think that's everything. Pretty soon we are, between now and then, going to be dealing with testing issues, ordering materials, trying to fix things and straighten things up that are not quite right. But that is all I have, unless you have questions.
Okay, thank you. That was Debbie Sexton with special ed.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I don't have anything for the agenda, but I just wanted to go over a few things that we have been doing in special ed. We did get our district plan approved last week, and so we were just very happy about that. And I do want to thank Miss Lisa Hamilton and Miss Melissa for helping out with some of the special ed questions in that district plan. And we are waiting on our self-assessment monitoring. We submitted that, but we have not received results back from that yet. So we're hopeful that everything will be all right and there won't be any areas that have to be fixed. Currently, I'm working on the IDEA Part B and the preschool IDEA budget. That has to be submitted by May the 1st. And I am also working on the SPDIG preschool grant and also the systematic grant that is due April the 16th. And I know everyone has been talking about the TCAP test. Some of our special ed students have already started taking the MSAA test. We have just a few of those students. So that began before our spring break. And so they will begin, or some of them have already started taking that, and then they will finish up with their alt science and social studies. And that's all that I have, unless you all have any questions.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, what about Amanda Stevens?
Yes, good afternoon. Okay, so I have working on several different budgets. Consolidated budget, like Miss Debbie was talking about, Title I, Title II, 4 and 5 is due May 1st. Our ESSER 2.0 did get approved, so we can start on that. And then ESSER 3.0 has come up, and it opens up April 15th, and it's due June 1st, so working on that. Summer Learning Loss budget's open today, and it's a quick turnaround. They want it back by May 7th. And then the general purpose budget, once we get that allocation, I'll start working on that as well, so that'll be very soon. For the agenda, I have GP Amendment number 5 and then Federal Amendment number 7, and I emailed you guys a copy of that. If you have any questions about that or anything else, just let me know. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Got Mr. Shoemaker.
Good evening. I do not have anything for the agenda, but by way of announcements, I know it's already been mentioned about the COVID vaccines in the health department, and what an outstanding job that they've done. If they had a better system anywhere else in the state, I want to see it, because now that was absolutely phenomenal. The way, the professionalism and how they handled themselves and conducted themselves, and made it very easy for us. As far as our scheduling and everything else goes. So I'm very appreciative of them, but they couldn't help our pains and our fevers and our sore arms and all that other stuff. So, but as of right now, those that participated through the schools with the health department, we vaccinated and is completely vaccinated with both doses, about 150 employees. And I've also been, some people reached out to me and let me know we've probably got 20 or 30 more employees that received it somewhere else or had to wait a period of time because they had other sicknesses or something going on, that has since at least started the process with the first one. So very thankful and appreciative of that we've got that many that was willing to take the vaccine. I know some of our principals have already mentioned, I may have missed a couple of them when I slid in just a couple minutes late, but sports physicals, those are coming up. Very thankful that Mount Peoples is able to do that again. I know we mentioned that last month, but how that benefits and helps our school system and our children, we really can't put enough thanks on that, because a lot of our students don't have the means to go or maybe even afford those sports physicals, and we are able to transport them. Thankful to Mr. Hall and Miss Amanda for, helping pay for those meals that we provide for Mountain Peoples and stuff in the schools, take care of the buses. So very thankful for all that, so these kids can have that opportunity. And of course, the schedule for that, make sure I get that right, I don't want to mess that up. The schedule is Winfield will be May 7th at 8:15. Fairview, that same Friday, May 7th at 9:15. That's only a half day. Then we have on Monday, May the 10th, Scott High at 8:15, Robbins at 9:30, and then Birchville coming in after lunch at 12:15. And on Thursday, May 13th, we will have Huntsville Middle School going up at 8:15 early that morning. So that's our schedule for the sports physicals. I know the schools are trying to get the packets out and get all their information back in so we can get those students up there, get that taken care of, and so thankful for Mount Peoples and also South Fork Therapy, because they send one of their physical therapists to check scoliosis and do some of the other range of motion, musculoskeletal exams and things like that. So very thankful and appreciative of them. And finally, big beast and bear of one of the things that I do is the school safety assessment. That has just been rolled out to us. I've got a training now. They've changed a few things, and I'll be getting with Mr. Sexton on this too, because he'll have to go through the training where he is our SRO supervisor that's involved with that. But we'll have to go through, so principals be prepared. I'll have to come through every one of the schools and do some of this assessments and sit down and talk with people and all the departments and see where we have improved on some of these and where we still are lacking in some of the areas to get up to date and kind of get some things taken care of. So that's due early part of summer, around June 20th, 25th, I think. So that process will be starting within the next week or so with the video training and some of the other stuff, and then sitting down in the different departments. So do know that's coming. And then as far as things that are coming ahead, I'm already working on next year's action plans, and I'll be bringing those things before you maybe next month or June. Things are changing, so I'll be bringing that information to you. But I'll just go ahead and let you know that I think there's only about 2 goals this past year that I was able to accomplish, because we rely so much on outside agencies to come in to help us. And due to this COVID situation, we did not allow outside agencies into our schools this year just because of, the contamination or bringing in people that may end up with the virus and then quarantining and all those. We was trying to be as safe and precautious as we could. So a lot of my goals from last year are going to be carried over to this coming up year, because I'm not going to give up on them. I'm going to try to still get them completed and finished. So you see some repetition between last year and this year. That's the reason why a lot of them did not get met, because we weren't able to use our outside agencies to get those met. And one of the big ones that we really are appreciative of is East Tennessee Children's Hospital, where they come in and do that asthma screening for 2 grade levels for free. They do the PFT, the pulmonary function test. They were not allowed to come in this year and do that. So now we get an opportunity to bring that back in next year and start with their schools. So we're very thankful for them and that opportunity. That's some of the things that's going on and what's going to be coming up over the course of the next couple of months. So that's all I have, unless you all have questions or anything for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds like you're being busy.
Just a little bit.
How about Miss Paulette with food service?
Hello, how is everyone?
Good.
I have nothing for the agenda for this month. I have been working on my budget and everything, which I think Miss Amanda had said that I'll put mine in with hers, which will be next month in May. And we've been working on the food, non-food bid that we were working on as a group, and it has come in, and I will be meeting on the 20th with the other school districts, and we'll be working on the tabulations and everything, and hopefully have that ready to present also in May. Just ran off reports, working on CEP verification, which takes me a couple weeks or so. Me and Miss Melanie sit there and we have to take every single name and make sure we can check and verify on these lists, but to get our students in and continue with the CEP. Also, meal pickups. We are still doing meal pickups and will continue through the year, and it will go back. We will do it Fridays again from 1 to 2 o'clock. So anyone can come, 18 and under, pick up meals. And everything else, we're just already in the progress. As Mr. Shoemaker said, we're planning for next year. Most of my things is already in place and ready to go. We're starting to look at maybe some possibilities for in-service. We're hoping for some normacy in going back. So just very busy trying to keep up with this year and trying to plan for next year. And that's all I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Okay, thank you. What about Mr. Bowles?
Mr. Bolton was noticed.
Okay. Mr. Bond?
Well, I hope everybody had a nice spring break. I don't know if any of y'all noticed that we had a little bit of a rainstorm there on that Sunday before spring break, but you know, it was nice if you have a metal roof. You could sleep until it started, you know, thundering and lightning. And didn't think anything of it the next day when it was all sunny and everything until Andrew calls me, says, so I'm down at the building and, you know, it's flooded everywhere. So we started our spring break out with, you know, getting anything that was on the floor out and starting the cleanup process. Mr. Hall and Miss Amanda made it where we could contact ServPro in an emergency fashion, called them on Sunday afternoon. They were in here on Monday morning and, you know, just deployed like an Army Delta Force or whatnot, you know, they just swooped in and set up all their equipment and did the initial cleaning of all the floors. We didn't really lose, or we didn't lose any electronic items or anything of that nature. We lost some books and some other paper items that were on the floor, and we did lose the floor in the kitchen area, which was you know, it was a laminate we had purchased years ago that just wasn't the most expensive stuff or whatnot. So overall, the losses were pretty minimal because we were able to get them in here so quickly. They just finished the final shampooing and everything yesterday. So, you know, where you guys are sitting right now, it didn't smell too good last week. So, other than that, we finally got all the laptops out for all the kids from first grade up through 12th. We are currently awaiting on shipments to get the laptops for the kindergartners. Not sure when that will be, but it could be any day. We're expecting a large shipment of computer parts for desktops and the like. You know, I don't know if there could be any more things that cause delays, but you know, I can only assume that some of our parts were probably on that ship that was caught in the Suez Canal. You know, I don't know why they would be, but yeah, the way things are going. But as soon as we get that stuff in, then we've got a couple hundred computers to build, a couple hundred laptops to get out, and then, as Miss Amanda mentioned, we've got ESSER 2 getting ready to start, and that will be a massive project of installing active panels and stuff in every classroom, and that is no small task. hopefully we can get the stuff ordered and in here to at least have a number of them installed by the time school starts, but I wouldn't hold my breath that we would be finished by that time. All of that, in addition to, as the others have said, we're starting our processes for the next school year, and after everything we put in place for this school year, how everything ties to everything else as far as the electronics go, having your power school and your scheduling and knowing your dates and having everything sent up to the state and all that stuff is the first step in 20 different processes that have to happen as we roll over. So it's going to be an eventful summer. Been working with Miss Paulette, getting their PEBT stuff uploaded. DHS didn't make that an easy process, but we got our February one uploaded today. Somehow I'd missed that. I'll be uploading March soon. But overall, right now we're just kind of in a we're working on access control systems, the doors and stuff at the schools. We got some cable in to help us finish some of those projects. But right now we're just kind of taking care of what we can while we await some big shipments coming in. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Shannon, I thought I saw you act like you're issues.
First off, I'd like to make sure we give thanks and appreciation to the road director, Kelvin King, and his crew. We called and had a stopped up culvert over at the soccer field, and they came immediately and took care of that. And they are always very, very responsive anytime that we ask them for any help, as are other government agencies around. We're very appreciative and would be remiss if we did not always give the thanks and appreciation for their services, and we greatly appreciate it. I also want to make sure to let Greg Claiborne and our central maintenance crew guys know that we appreciate all the work that they do. They've been staying very busy with the requests that's been coming in, and also getting a little bit ahead on some of the things that need to be planned for and completed for the end of the school year that's coming very quickly, and the larger projects that we'll try to accomplish during the summer. Moving on, though, we do have several bid requests. As a matter of fact, one bid request is from the GP side for maintenance, and it is for the ability to bid the dumpster concrete pad out by Scott High School, where the dumpsters sit and the trucks come in. The concrete asphalt, I guess, is just not durable enough to hold the weight of the truck, so a concrete pad there would alleviate the problem, and it would not be an issue. The second portions of the bid request, and there are 14 different bid requests that would go under the second portion. These are all the ESSER projects 2.0 that have been budgeted so far. And the thing that I had talked to Miss Ginger, Mr. Hall, Miss Amanda about is asking the board to allow us to just request bids for all of these things as a rolling process. Kind of get my office out of the way from slowing the process down. Go ahead and allow those bid requests to be approved. And then once Allen Hill, Upland Design, or the architectural firms get the specifications for those bids prepared, then roll them out for the bid process. So those bids that would be requested there would be for the Birchfield Elementary Playroom Conversion Project, the roof at Fairview Elementary School, the portion that needs to be replaced, an older portion, I should say. The Birchfield Elementary School roof project, which is an older portion. The Huntsville Middle School project, and it includes the cafeteria area all the way down to the end of the middle school. Extensions to awnings at Huntsville Elementary School, Birchfield Elementary School, and Winfield Elementary. Little theater seating replacement at Scott High School is another bid request. And then the floor scrubbers for each location of our school. And those are automated floor scrubbing mopping machines that really make the process easier, more efficient, so it'll allow for our buildings to be mopped and cleaned more often. Also, a bid request for air purifiers for classrooms, and that would be an automatic oxidation technology for the individual classrooms. A bid request for large area ionizers for the cafeterias and gymnasium areas that typically have a lot more people in them. And then finally, 3 different projects for the Huntsville Elementary Middle School cafeteria HVAC system, the Scott High School boiler and heat unit HVAC systems, as well as the old library office area at Robbins Elementary. So those are all bid requests that would come under ESS ER2. And then my final budget amendment item that I would have is coming from the CTE federal side, and it would be the CTE budget amendment number 4, just kind of to clean up the CTE budget. There's always 12 cents laying out there in federal budgets that are really tough to track down, iron down, and get it spent. So we're working on getting those 12 cents spent. From the textbook side of our office, we're working on getting the order together for our math gap 2-year order. We're in the final phases. We've got our number projections pretty much cemented, and that order should be completed and to Miss Amanda and Mr. Hall for approval, hopefully very, very soon, so that we can get that order solidified. From the CTE side, we have completed our Perkins basic application. The final revisions, we believe, are done now, and we should be bringing the CTE budget for the FY22 year to you, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the next board meeting. We've also completed the self-monitoring assessment for the CTE program, and no news is good news. We've not heard anything good or bad about that, but I assume that everything is good there. So unless anyone has any questions, that's all I've got.
Thank you.
That's it.
I'm with you, Dave.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you. For the items for the agenda, we'd like to ask the board to approve the following overnight out-of-state trips. For the Transportation Department, the TAPT Conference in Pigeon Forge, June 6th through the 9th. Also for the board member, director of schools, and the county attorney, the Summer Law Institute, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Actually, that should be Gatlinburg. I'll make that correction. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, July 15th through the 17th. Also would like to ask the board to approve and request for the extended utilization of some of our school buses. And also we have some surplus property that we would like to place on the agenda to request for bid, or to request to sale, I should say. Also would like to ask the board to approve the TSBA membership dues this year for $5,458.00. And that's all that I have for the agenda for tonight. Would like to follow up on some of the principals, what they mentioned on some promotion ceremonies for our high school and the middle schools. Of course, Scott High School will be on Saturday, May the 8th, as Ms. Rector mentioned earlier. Right now, they have not set the time at that time, and as soon as they make the decision on whether to go with one ceremony or two, then we will get those times out immediately. Winfield Elementary, Friday, May 14th at 10 a.m. Robbins Elementary, Friday, May 14th at 6 p.m. Huntsville Middle School, Monday, May 17th at 10 a.m. Fairview Elementary School, Monday, May 17th at 6 p.m. Birchfield Elementary School, Tuesday, May 18th at 9 a.m. Also to follow up with our principals and Ms. Keaton, TCAP testing window will begin on April 21st, so we'll be looking for those schedules for each school. Also, the ELC exams will begin April, we'll begin on Monday, April the 12th. I do want to touch base with Ms. Shoemaker and Mr. Shoemaker mentioned earlier also. The health department, the fantastic job they did for our staff and also for our general public has been phenomenal. And I, like Mr. Shoemaker, I would hate to see anyone that's done any more efficient and done a better job than what our group has done. You're in and out. Now the shot, you know, depending on what you've had or the things you've had with it. But their professionalism and what they have done for our community has been second to none. So again, big thank you to Ms. Carrie Hammy and all the people that have Scott County Health Department. They've been tremendous. Also, a great job with our sports physicals, getting everything lined up for this year, and for Mountain Peoples for that, what they do for us every year. Because without help from our community, this would be a big burden and money toward our parents. So it's tremendous that we have these community resources that are willing to work with our schools and to help our students. And again, a big thank you to all. Hope everyone had a pleasant and safe spring break. I know it was enjoyable. Had some good weather for the most part. Had some rain early. As I did mention with the board this morning about the flood that we had here. Walking here today, you wouldn't know it. This was under a lot of water. We have filed the insurance. We'll see what comes from that. But we needed to, at an emergency situation, get that ball rolling immediately. And by doing that, we was able to save this in here. So again, big thank you to Greg, especially to Josh for finding it and knowing that what had happened, because we could have been in a world of hurt had no one come on in that day and checked it out. So again, thank you to them. Like I said, we saved what we have here, so that was great. Thank you to ServPro, I guess, for coming in at that time and getting it done. And guys, that's really all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me. Thank you to the board this morning for our first board retreat. It was really good, very beneficial for myself and people that were here. So again, thank you for your time today. And that's all I have, unless y'all have questions for me.
I apologize for not being able to be here, but
We understand.
it's just too busy. Mr. Silcox, do you have anything to bring to the board?
I don't have anything.
Okay, how about you, Ms. Parlane? Nothing. Ms. Lindsay? John?
It's just nice to be with you for a
Yes,
change.
good to have you back.
I'll be back.
How about you, Kim?
Well, this is going out to the sophomores and juniors that will be juniors and seniors next year from both high schools. At the TCAT, which is Tennessee College of Applied Technology, we have some new shops that have opened: industrial maintenance, building trade, diesel mechanic, pharmacy, plus there's lots of other shops too. But we are able to do dual enrollment with these high school students. What I mean is you might have boys that are in building trade and even girls, but if they're taking building trade at Scott High, if they dual enroll with us when they graduate, if they decide to come to a trade school, which is ours, that time will carry over. As you know, not college isn't for every person in the world. You know, we've had people before that went to college and they decided that wasn't for them, then they'd come to TCAT. But I just wanted to make everyone aware that we do dual enrollment. We have building trade classes, cosmetology. If they're in cosmetology at Scott High, they can dual enroll and get that credit those 2 years if they decide to come to Technology Center instead of going to like Knoxville School of Beauty. But I just wanted to put that in there and let them know they could, you know, kind of think about that.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Luke?
I don't have anything.
I bet you, Derek, you're our new board member.
I just want to say I'm excited about all the new building stuff coming up, the new improvements we got for the schools. I was looking through that whole sheet of all these bids and I'm like, golly, and I'm thinking, you know, all this stuff needs to get done, and I'm glad that we're doing some regular work, some non-corona stuff, it seems like, for once. So thank you to Keith for all that, and just glad to see some of that stuff happen.
Absolutely. Okay, with that, I guess we can go home. Thank you.